Hi, I'm Alan Brooks. Have you ever thought what is probably the most important Bible verse that we have? I mean, there's thousands of Bible verses, right? I knew the number one time, but I've forgotten what it is. But of all the Bible verses out there, what's the most important? Some might say John 3:16, others might say another verse, but let me offer you a thought. I think it's Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1, if you don't know, says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And honestly, it all starts right there. Everything else, I would say, at some level, is dependent upon what you believe about Genesis 1:1. You know, in my youth, I wanted to be an architect. I was often fascinated by buildings and all that went into making them. And to this day, I love to see, different types of architecture and different things that people have created. Because it's amazing. It's amazing the things that people build sometimes, the ingenuity, the way things work, and even technology today. I mean, from when I was a kid, how technology is today is mind-blowing. I remember watching as a kid, these astronauts landing on the moon and thinking, wow, what an amazing thing. Not having no concept of what it took technologically to get them there. The amazing thing, though, is this little phone that I'm filming this video with has substantially more technology in it than that space capsule and the rocket that took them into space. It's unbelievable that they were able to do what they did with that little technology. But never for a minute did I think that that rocket or that space capsule had just been found in the desert one day. That a little bit like the old show, I Dream of Jeannie, that it just landed on a beach and just appeared there, right? I know anytime I see something, whether it's my iPhone or whether it's a building or something else technological, I know that there's an engineer and a designer behind that. And the more complicated something is, the more a system requires technology, the more it requires an engineer, it requires a designer. Could I say it requires a creator? See, you'll hear some people sometimes espouse the idea of evolution and this idea that things just simply began out of nothing. I have a lot of difficulty with that, just to be real with you. I would say I don't have enough faith to believe that. Now, do I believe that things change over time? That even organisms, absolutely. There's, I think, adequate proof of that. But do I believe that all the complexity of what we know about life, whether you're picking an insect or whether you're picking an animal or whether you're picking a human, wow, there's a lot of design and complexity into that. And the reality is that these things couldn't have just all happened all at once. Even evolution indicates that they happen over extended periods of time. The problem is that those systems are often interdependent upon each other. And if they're not all working simultaneously, guess what? The organism, the animal, the human, ceases to exist because everything's not functioning as it should. No different than it would be for an astronaut on top of a rocket or in a space capsule. Those things have to work as they're designed to work all at the same time. Otherwise, game over, mission over, right? Just not going to happen. So anytime somebody tells you that they believe that something came out of nothing, I would just simply say, wow, show me an example of where we see that, where there's evidence of that taking place. Because I don't think any one of them would ever say the idea that they believe a building just grew up out of the ground someday, or that this animal, the dog that they own, that dog just all of a sudden popped up, in their lap one day out of nothing. They recognize that there's a complexity to those things. And with that complexity comes a designer, comes a creator. I hear this idea every once in a while of atheism. And atheism is a faith system. It's a faith that there is no God. Just as I am a theist, I have a faith there is a God. An atheist has a faith there is no God. He believes there's not enough evidence to say there's a God. I, on the other hand, say, wow, look around us. There's got to have been a God. There's got to have been a creator. And that's something that each one of us have to come to terms with. And that's why, for me, Genesis 1:1 is one of the most important verses in the Bible. Have a great day.